So a little bit about us, the team, the dream team that puts this all together, Jenna Gaudio, Allison Lamano, and myself, Brittany Jacobs. Jenna is the Chief Operating Officer. Chief Operating Officer of Vidya. I was going to say, we changed it. Allison Lamano, Product Management Lead at Definement Logic, and I'm also the Software Engineering Manager over at Vidya. So a little bit about our background. We were established in 2017 after being inspired by another Women in Tech event. Our first event was in January of 2018. And then in February of 2019, Jenna Gaudio joined us as Executive Director. And our mission is to support, educate, mentor, and develop a network for women in the information technology industry. We are focused on building and maintaining a local community that will fulfill the needs of women in tech, both personally and professionally. We also do community outreach. So for those who are new here and aren't familiar, we did a few fundraisers to help send girls from Asbury Park schools to coding and robotics camp, and that's been super successful, and plan on doing more of that in the future. And also, we always say that all are welcome, not just women, all genders, all industries, not a man-haters group. We love everybody. We've had a lot of support from men, and we really, really appreciate it, of course. You could follow us on any of our socials. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We do recordings of all our online events, so you can catch those there if you miss them, or if you want to recap. Join the conversation. So on Facebook, not only do we have a Facebook page where we list all of our events, but we also have a private group on there. So in that place is where you can post different things. So if you wanted to celebrate a new job or a promotion or a raise, we'll help you celebrate that for sure. Suggestions for other meetups, classes, workshops, events, speakers. We always love to hear from our community if they want to hear from different speakers. Share any relevant articles or blogs. If you got press, that's even better. We'd love to help you celebrate and share that. Looking or hiring. We've had, a few people get jobs through our group, which is excellent. And of course, asking. So asking for help, advice, information, any of that. We are here to help and assist, and so is our community. Our community is awesome, so definitely utilize that. Apply to speak. So on JerseyShoreWomenInTech.com, you can fill out our speaker application. Again, we also appreciate if anybody has any recommendations. We will be happy to reach out to them as well. I think we're booked up until January as of now, Allison? Okay. And of course, we wouldn't be able to have our amazing events without our awesome sponsors. So first is Leader Arty. And so I will have Jackie talk a little bit about that.
Hi, ladies. Okay, so Leader Arty is a woman's owned full-service marketing firm located on the Jersey Shore, founded with the desire to create opportunities for business growth. We offer our clients marketing that works for their individual setup. And what sets us apart is our team is made up of senior experts that understand the businesses of IT, because we've all withheld positions in tech companies. So we really understand the market. And at each event, we're going to give a really quick marketing tip that you can utilize today and see immediate improvement on, either your LinkedIn or your personal site that you use. So I'm going to throw our marketing tip and then our Jersey Shore Women in Tech special offering that's only specific and offered to you guys, our members, in the chat. And it'll also include my email if you would like to take advantage of our offering. And that's all I have.
Cool. Thanks, Jackie. Oops, back one. And then Vidya as well, which is did we take out the blurb? The video blurb was missing.
Yeah, I have to dig it up. It hasn't been in the
Oh.
template.
I can rewrite it for next time too.
Okay. Jenna, do you want to give us our blurb?
Sure. Insider info too. By the time we meet next time, we'll have a new logo too. So
that's true.
Yeah. So Vidya is an end-to-end platform and service company that powers the business of music. We have built technology and infrastructure that helps independent labels scale on a global level, audio, video distribution, data analytics, automated accounting, label services, and beyond. So right now, we are focused this month on sales and label partnership hires, and I believe data engineering.
Okay, cool. So this is what's coming next month, Tuesday, November 16th, also an online event. We're going to be hearing from Bella Hunnicky, who is a human trafficking survivor, advocate and member of the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking and Framework. And she's going to talk about the role that technology plays in that. So that should be super, super interesting. We should be posting that live sometime this week, I think, Allison, right? Yeah, probably sometime this week.
Yeah, towards the end of the week, it'll probably be available to start RSVPing.
Cool. Yeah, and you'll get to read a little bit more about that as well. So without further ado, our wonderful speaker that we have tonight is Danielle Cobo. She is going to be talking about from uncertainty to clarity, how to accelerate your career, which is something we are all always looking for help in doing. So this should be really great. Just wanted to mention too, that after she speaks, you can connect with her to learn about career leadership development trainings for corporations and individuals by going to her website at daniellecobo.com. And of course, in our follow-up newsletter, we'll have that link as well. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing and throw it over to Danielle.
Well, thank you so much for having me today and letting me be a guest and joining Women in Tech. So as you said, I am Danielle Cobo. I'm a career and leadership coach, and I empower professionals to discover their vision, recognize their power within, and create an abundant life. I believe every woman has the power to step into their dream job, earn the income they are worth, and create the life they desire. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 3 pillars to accelerating your career. And at the end, I will offer a special workbook that I've created for you guys on how to accelerate your career as well. So I'll go ahead and send you the link to that. So how many of you, when you were a child, dreamt of being a musician or a scientist or an astronaut? Yeah, okay. So, yeah. So I dreamt, after an early career as a Girl Scout, I knew that I wanted to be in sales. And so I knew I wanted to be in sales. And the first dream job that I wanted was to be a realtor. And then I realized that realtors worked weekends. So out went that dream. Done. Didn't want to do it anymore. See, I have 4-year-old twin boys, and they are the master at sales. They can negotiate anything. They can convince you that a superhero cape and underwear is the perfect attire to go to school in. And here's the one thing about them. Whether they want it right now, they're dreaming about being a space ranger or a cowboy or a fireman. But one thing's for sure is that they don't let self-doubt hold them back from pursuing what they want to pursue. All they know is that life is big. It's an exciting dream. They don't necessarily know that they're probably going to spend the next 20 years in school. They definitely don't know the qualifications or certifications for each job. And they also probably don't know that they're going to have to one day worry about cyber threats, artificial intelligence, disaster recovery, or social media. So it's easy to feel stuck in our career if we don't know where we want to go and how to get there. And when you're clear on your career goals, you can build an abundant life. So how often do you experience self-doubt? Yeah, a job alert comes up and you start to look at the qualifications and you're super excited. It's like your dream job. This is exactly what you wanted. And the job alert comes up and you read through the qualifications and you start to disqualify yourself before you even qualify yourself. So one thing might happen, right? You start to think to yourself, I'm too old. They're hiring younger candidates for less money. And let me say this real quick. Betty White is 99 years old. She turns 100 pretty soon in a couple weeks. If she is still pursuing her dream career, we can as well. So on the other hand, maybe your dream job comes up and you get the alert and you start to say, and this is what I often hear from clients is, I'm too young, I don't have experience, I don't have the certifications. And what happens is that feeling of discouragement, frustration, and self-doubt. And what happens is we start to compare ourselves to others. We start to say things like, you know, other people have their career figured out, other people are in their dream job, I can't do this. And what happens is we either get discouraged, and sometimes what happens even worse is we don't apply to the job at all. So how many of you want to advance in your career, however, feel stuck because you're lost on how to navigate that corporate ladder or even politics, which we spoke to earlier? 74% of employees feel that they are not reaching their full potential because of a lack of development opportunities within organizations. So what would your life look like if you stopped disqualifying yourself before you qualified yourself? See, gaining clarity in your career is priceless. When you know how to create a clear roadmap to success, the sky is limitless. So I went from trash bags to leading a team for a Fortune 500 company with no direct management experience. And then from there, led the poorest performing team to #1 in the nation. However, I experienced self-doubt through most of my life. See, when I was 2 years old, my bipolar mother kidnapped me. And I didn't know it at the time. But my thought when I was growing up was, I thought my dad abandoned me. I thought that he didn't love me. I thought that I was unworthy. I thought that I wasn't smart enough, pretty enough. And I compared myself to others. I dimmed my light because I thought I was unworthy of unconditional love and of success. On the other hand, I aspired to be my mom. See, I didn't know that she kidnapped me. So in my eyes, my mom was super mom. She was like the super woman. She had that cape and everything. And she raised me when I was 5 years old, while also getting her bachelor's degree, while also working full time. And I probably wasn't the easiest girl to raise because I had that same bloodline of my grandma who led the women's equality movement, and my mom who broke down barriers climbing the corporate ladder in the 1990s, which was exceptional at that time. So when I was in high school, my mom and I got in one of those blowout fights. And I definitely had some choice words with her that I definitely regret and should not have said to my mom. And she had some choice words for me. And throughout that fight, what ended up happening is my mom slapped me across the face and my cheek was left swollen and red. And then she pushed me down the stairs where my legs they had rug burns up and down the legs. And the next day I went to school. And the school counselor said, you're never going to amount to anything in life unless you go back home. And see, this was a pivotal moment in my life, and why I share this with you is because it was at that time where I learned to trust myself and I learned to believe in myself. And that we have the choice to either choose to listen to the negativity, or we can choose to take that, empower it within, and fuel our fire to succeed in life. Because that next year, I went to school, I was working full time my senior year of high school. And what I was doing is I was rotating to different friends' houses every couple weeks. So I had somewhere to sleep while my clothes were piled into 4 trash bags. And so it's not ideal, but here's the thing. I know a lot of us can relate to self-doubt because it's common to experience self-doubt. See, 27% of women in tech feel like they're stuck in their career. And that could be of an example of macho work environment or lack of sponsorships, lack of opportunities. Also the good old boys club, which we can probably all relate to. Yep. So it's time that we say goodbye to feeling stuck and discouraged and frustrated and start saying hello to empowered and fulfilled and motivated. So the first pillar to accelerating your career is crushing your limiting beliefs. So I invite you to imagine yourself. You're sitting down and across from you is yourself at 3 years old. And you're looking at this little girl. And what did she want to be growing up? Was it a software programmer, a developer, an engineer? Would you tell her the things that you tell yourself? I'm not successful. I'm not worthy. I'm not pretty. I'm fat. Would you look at yourself at 3 years old and tell her those things? Because it's time that we stop doubting ourselves. It's time that we start believing in ourselves and transforming that self-doubt into a place of confidence and courage. So it's time that we start going up to bat and we start rooting for ourselves. So here's my invitation to you. Sometime this week, I want you to grab a white porcelain plate. Get it at the Dollar Tree, Walmart, wherever it is you want to find it. And with a black Sharpie, I want you to write down, sit in your room for about 20 minutes, half hour, and start in the middle and write down every negative thing you've told yourself throughout your life. Everything. Fill up the plate. And then in a safe place, and I repeat, in a safe place, I want you to feel that same power. If any of you have played softball or baseball, you know when that bat hits the ball and you feel that adrenaline rush and the power of the bat hitting the ball. I want you to take that same force, and when you take this plate, you're literally throwing it on the ground with that same power. So we get to crush those limiting beliefs. We get to move on from them, and we now get to transform into a place of confidence. So the next step to crushing your beliefs is to take a piece of paper and write down the successes you've had in your career. Sometimes we forget the successes and milestones that we've had to overcome in our career. So imagine if you start to look back and go, oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. I remember I got promoted to this job, or I accelerated in this way. And we started to celebrate those. Also, write down 5 affirmations that you get to tell yourself every morning, because it takes 45 to 60 days to change habits. And if you think about it, we've probably been telling ourselves these negative thoughts for years. So when you write down your 5 affirmations, you're going to put it in your mirror and you're going to tell yourself these things every single day, morning and night. See, we get to change the way that we think about ourselves, and we get to change it into a place of confidence. Because again, when we believe in ourselves, other people will believe in us as well. And I also invite you to, when you're going into any big meeting, have you ever heard of like the Superwomen pose or the power pose? So I stand back and you literally do this for like 5 minutes and you do your power pose. It's fun, it gets the adrenaline going, and that's where you really get that confidence in. Okay, so then once you've crushed these limiting beliefs, I'm going to share with you a time when I interviewed for a company and why it's so important to transform that self-doubt into courage. Because I was interviewing for a Fortune 500 company, and I was interviewing for a sales rep position. And as I'm interviewing with this director, this is like my dream job, it's in medical aesthetics. And as I'm interviewing with this director, I'm showing her this business plan that I created for a previous company that I worked with. And I was showing her, I'm like, okay, so here's what I put together. I saw an opportunity within an organization, and here's what the job description is. And I did research on what the income would be, and also accelerating with compensation based off the success of the new hires. And as I'm interviewing for this position, she looks at me and she says, have you ever thought about management? And I was going, well, yeah, I want to be a manager, right? I had 8 years in sales experience and I wanted to be a manager. I also acknowledged that I didn't have any direct management experience. And so this is the time, another pivotal moment in my life, and why I share this with you is because at that point, I could have said no. I could have said, nope, I don't have the qualifications. I'm not going to go for it. Or what I did is I found the courage within and I interviewed for that management position. And let me tell you, during that week leading up to the interview was pretty scary. I probably interviewed like every manager I could to get their little nuggets of advice, read a leadership book, a management book within 1 week. And as I stepped into this interview, it was a 3-hour interview with 6 of the executive leadership team. And I had to present a SWOT analysis. So the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats on how I was going to approach leading the poorest performing team in the nation and my servant leadership. And it wasn't easy, and I was terrified, and I probably spoke really fast, but in the end, I got the job. And by partnering with these sales reps and understanding what their individual career plans were, and identifying what their strengths are, what their opportunities are, and linking arms with them, I was able to transform and lead that team to #1 in the nation within 2 years. So identify what's been holding you back, transform to confidence, and really think about what positions do you want to go for. And before you even disqualify yourself, just say, I'm going to apply. What's the worst can happen? They can say no, but it's worth trying anyways and putting yourself out there. So the second pillar to accelerating your career is developing your brand. So I think one of you had said that resume, yeah, it's no longer the first impression. It's a new world out there. And the way that the job market is changing, it's different and it's unique, and we get to evolve with it. The good thing is LinkedIn is now your new best friend. So with LinkedIn, 87% of recruiters use LinkedIn to recruit top talent. And why this is so beneficial to be on LinkedIn is because oftentimes I hear from clients that they're frustrated and discouraged because they've been applying to jobs online and spending countless hours doing it and hearing crickets. Because what happens is, and you're in tech, so you know, there's an artificial intelligence filtering system. And on average, each job gets 250 applicants on average. And to take it a step further, 80% of jobs aren't even posted online. So that can feel very discouraging when you're trying to look for a job. The good news is with LinkedIn, that can be a very valuable resource. And when you're looking at your LinkedIn profile, one of the things you want to look at, it's called a social selling index. You can Google your social selling index. What that does is it gives you a benchmark as to what your brand is on LinkedIn. And a couple things that go into that social selling index, it's going to be how comprehensive is your profile. The simple thing of having a professional photo speaks volumes. Having a background photo. LinkedIn automatically defaults to your most recent job. So having your value and the value proposition that you bring and what your expertise is in the headline. Having that about section filled out. You can have up to 2,600 characters in that about section. Having all the job descriptions filled out and the accomplishments that you've had over the years. And LinkedIn allows 50 skills on your LinkedIn profile. So having the skills completely filled out and aligned with the jobs that you're applying for can really accelerate your social selling index, as well as you coming up at the top when it comes to when recruiters are looking for top talent. Your brand is a combination as to what people see online, as well as how you present yourself in person. So when you go for that interview, I always say, dress the way you want to feel. If you want to feel confident, I don't know about you, but I pop on some heels. That's when I feel confident. You get to walk into that power. And the same applies for if you are, wanting to be casual or sporty. You're probably going to dress the way that you're going to be working that day or going about your day. Think about your brand as your legacy. When you walk into a room, how do you make people feel? When you leave that room, how do people remember you? Again, it's your presentation online and in person. The third pillar to accelerating your career is your network. So just like LinkedIn, having your brand is an important aspect of your pillar to accelerating your career. Also using LinkedIn to expand your network. So people that are referred to a job are 14 times more likely to get hired. And so connecting directly with recruiters and hiring managers can be extremely beneficial to building your network and having job opportunities come to you because it's being referred. And with LinkedIn, I know that we are probably so comfortable posting on Facebook and Instagram, but when it comes to LinkedIn, there's this like immediate, I'm going to hide. I'm not going to post anything, I'm going to hide. But LinkedIn can be extremely valuable because it's your opportunity to highlight your strengths, to highlight your personality. If you see an inspirational quote, what does it mean to you? Why does it resonate with you? Why does it inspire you? So posting a couple times a week also increases your social selling index, which also increases the algorithms so that you're coming up as a top talent when those 87% of recruiters are looking for you. So we spend a third of our life working. How would you feel if you were not only filling your cup up at work, also in your wallet? And so by doing these three pillars, which is crushing your limiting beliefs, developing your brand, and expanding your network, that's how you can accelerate your career. So I also want you to channel that golden girl within you. And remember that if Betty White could be acting at 99 years old, turning 100 in a couple of weeks, it's never too late for us to pursue our dream. The limit is, there's no limit. The sky is the limit, and that's about it. So I am going to be inviting you to, I'm going to be sending a career acceleration workbook, a link to download that. And it's a workbook that's going to take you through the steps on how to accelerate your career. Things like crushing your limiting beliefs, identifying the companies that you want to work for, highlighting your strengths. And then also I have a podcast. If you're interested in listening to the podcast, it's called Dream Job with Danielle Cobo. And the most recent episodes are 5 steps to attracting your dream job. And then also steps from an expert on how to accelerate your brand on LinkedIn. And then I also have a couple episodes coming up. Actually, I have Heather Monahan coming up tomorrow, which she's an international best-selling author. She actually posted on LinkedIn, I got fired. And through that post, created a confidence creator book where now she's an international best-selling author, and she's coming out with a new book called Overcome Your Villains. So those resources are available to you. And I am here with any questions. And of course, if you want to schedule a career discovery call with me, I offer that as well.